Restriction of movement order in Malaysia was made under the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act 1988 and the Police Act 1967. It was implemented as a preventive measure by the federal government in order to control the spread of COVID-19. The order starting from 18th of March 2020 until 31st of March 2020, but then the government extended the order until 14th of April 2020. RMO is not a total lockdown where people cannot go out at all. The order was focusing on banning the public gathering in order to avoid a close contact among people, as the virus can be transmitted via respiratory droplets and contact with contaminated surface or object. That's why people are obliged and encouraged to stay at home to avoid this contact. However, there are several sectors have been given an exceptional to operate as usual in minimum capacity, and one person from each family is allowed to leave their home to buy essential things or medical items. Most of the countries who are affected by the pandemic have imposed their own preventive measure. For example, in Italy, the government of Italy imposed a national quarantine restricting the movement of the population, and the lockdown was implemented gradually starting from the 11 provinces on 21st February. The lockdown expanded towards the northern part of Italy on 8th of March 2020, affecting over 16 million people, and the quarantine measures were expanded to the entire of the country later on. And in China, the central government of China imposed a lockdown in Wuhan and other cities in Hubei where the COVID-19 is thought to have originated. It is also known as a Wuhan lockdown. This is the first lockdown that happened during this pandemic. However, several cities in Hubei ended the lockdown earlier, which is on 25th March 2020, while Wuhan lockdown scheduled to end on 8th of April 2020.
So during this vital period, the citizens are not allowed to travel abroad, and those who just returned to Malaysia need to undergo certain health checks and need to be quarantined for 14 days. Some business premises are closed, but somehow certain supermarkets and convenience stores that are selling daily essentials are still operating as per usual, and furthermore, some policemen and soldiers are assigned at every state border so that the government can control the movement from state to state, so meaning that those who are living in Kuala Lumpur cannot enter other states like Selangor and Negeri Sembilan without any solid reason. And the government has decided to ban all gatherings, also the religious matter such as daily congregational prayers and also weekly Friday prayers until further notice.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Abdul Kabir Gonzales from the Philippines, and among the major challenges that we face nowadays during this government's movement restriction is, first of all, the lack of flights to our home countries, and secondly, the difficulty to buy some necessities. This RMO advised or commanded these transportation services to cancel most of the flights to our home countries. Therefore, which makes things more complicated, which makes us far from our families during these hard moments. Secondly, buying food, personal hygiene, and stuffs became more complicated by the fact that the police were everywhere. They only allow those the head of the house, the head of the mahalla, the head of the home to go outside and buy those stuffs. And we need to lessen our food quota, food intake for each and every day to make sure that we still have something to eat for the next day. And however, we thank the government for this initiative, for this precautionary measures. We know that this is for the safety or the wellness of all. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and hit the notification bell for the latest update on the next episode. Stay tuned!